Vanquish, the high-velocity third-person shooter which combines military sci-fi with Platinum Games style. Sam Gideon's blade system is the companion to his augmented reaction suit, allowing him to scan and then quickly construct copies of weapons he finds in the field while holding on to the same grip, making it easy for him to implement multiple weapons into his attack strategy while maintaining control. There's 11 configurations of the blade system available in the game, so let's rank them all, starting from number 11, the lock-on laser. While its ability to lock onto enemies is palpable, absolutely nothing else about this weapon is. Its damage is pathetic, its target acquisition is dodgy at the best of times, and worst of all, it's prone to failure, since the projectiles you fire after locking on have the potential to impact a surface or miss the enemy should they move, making the weapon a wholly uncompelling option. Number 10. The sniper rifle. Though its accuracy and zoom capabilities are unmatched, Vanquish is a game most often played at medium to close range, leaving its long-range appeal most often unnecessary. And save for critical shots, the damage output of the rifle is undoubtedly wanting, especially on larger enemies such as Romanovs, where a hail of bullets or a potent explosion almost always beats out a well-placed round from this weapon. And that's not to mention the lengthy reload time between shots, resulting in both the damage per bullet and damage per second being lackluster. Number 9. The disc launcher. A specialised answer for a specialised problem, the disc launcher is an expert in dismemberment, making it easy to target and disable certain aspects of an enemy's arsenal, such as the arm cannon on a Romanov. Despite this utility, it's a relatively unwieldy method of destroying your enemies, when you're having to contend with low-velocity projectiles which can bounce unfavourably, and may fail to disable the desired section of your target altogether should it land at a poor angle. This, combined with the fact that standard weaponry is capable of dismemberment in much the same way, albeit less efficiently, makes the disc launcher a tough sell. Number 8. The boost machine gun. The boost machine gun is a monster of a weapon, with high damage, fire rates, and more than reasonable accuracy relative to its other stats. Unfortunately, the weapon is brought down immensely by its one crucial weakness, its terribly low magazine capacity, which makes laying down a steady stream of bullets to contend with a large volume of enemies, which tends to be a machine gun's job, incredibly difficult. Less time firing doesn't just mean less damage output, it means less enemies being staggered, less opportunities to intercept approaching threats to shake them off, and an overall reduction in your safety. Number 7. The laser cannon. Playing with the laser cannon in Vanquish is the ultimate give-and-take scenario. You're taking an incredible amount of power, as the cannon is able to melt wave after wave of enemies with absolute precision, but in exchange you're giving it your precious ARS energy as ammunition. This energy fuels a huge amount of your arsenal, from your rocket-propelled slide maneuvers to your enhanced perception of time, and having to manage such an integral resource when a multitude of features are vying for a piece of it can be seriously challenging, most likely resulting in overheating if you aren't being rigorously attentive to your reserves. A state in which neither your movement abilities nor your laser cannon are usable, forcing you to swap to a different weapon and dive for cover. To make matters worse, the laser cannon's beam projects outwards over time as opposed to instantly covering the length of the battlefield when it's activated, meaning you'll have to spend even more energy projecting the laser to the correct distance to hit enemies at longer ranges. Number 6. The heavy machine gun. As the boost machine gun's much more level-headed sibling, the heavy machine gun trades the former's brutal characteristics for a much steadier approach, with far more ammo in the magazine and a slower fire rate, allowing it to fall in line with what you might expect from a machine gun. Its high caliber ammunition allows it to stagger large groups of enemies for sustained periods of time. Critical hits are sufficiently devastating, and while it may be relatively inaccurate, making it unsuitable for long-range encounters, it's an excellent choice for long-winded, medium-ranged battles of attrition, where consistent, manageable firepower is the key to success. Number 5. The low-frequency energy gun. While first appearing unconventional, with its purpose decidedly unclear, the low-frequency energy gun is in truth a dedicated disruptor weapon, with incredibly powerful knockback capabilities delivered in a wide electromagnetic field, sending all but the most powerful enemies flying under the immense energetic pressure. It's the perfect weapon for pushing back approaching threats, allowing you to maintain your position instead of being forced to relocate, and it deals more than respectable damage relative to its ease of use and area of effect, making it a viable option for both suppressing larger enemies and destroying groups of smaller ones. Though its close-range effectiveness does come at the cost of the gun's long-range capabilities, in which the energy it emits will simply dissipate before reaching its target, making the weapon a specialised option. Number 4. The rocket launcher. In gaming, there's a tendency for two distinct types of rocket launcher to exist. Those which target infantry, with a lower velocity round and a wider explosion radius, and those which target vehicles, with a higher velocity round and lock-on capabilities, which allow the weapon to accurately strike distant targets. Luckily for Vanquish's futuristic rendition of the classic, no such distinctions exist. This rocket launcher can do it all, with extreme damage, the ability to lock onto any threat you wish to eradicate, and a deceptively large area of effect. Provided you account for the rocket's travel time, you'll have no problem blasting large groups of fodder out of orbit and chunking away the armour of even the most fearsome enemies. Just make sure you keep an eye on the low ammo count, since, while devastating, it must be used sparingly. The anti-armour pistol is, by all accounts, exactly what the sniper rifle wishes it could be. It has the accuracy, zoom capabilities, and damage, while retaining respectable handling and magazine capacity where the rifle does not, making it the long-range weapon of choice while also being applicable to close-range encounters, where it can dish out round after round of one-shot killing ammo, which also, as its name implies, penetrates both cover and the enemies themselves, allowing you to skip the waiting game of an enemy placing themselves in your reticule as you shoot straight through the surface they're hiding behind to streamline the combat process. It's especially useful for dealing with threats manually operating equipment, such as turrets or walkers, which would normally somewhat shield the operators from standard fire. Number 2. The shotgun. Vanquish is a game that can often feel counterintuitive. You want to charge into the threat facing you and leverage your ARS abilities to take them out with acrobatic speed and precision, but this playstyle can be incredibly difficult to make work, since being close to enemies is more often than not a death sentence, since absorbing melee attacks has brutal repercussions on Sam, and it can feel impossible to disrupt the constant flow of bullets assailing you from all directions if you aren't locked down in cover. To this problem, the shotgun is the best answer you're going to get, with its wide buckshot spread and devastating damage potential, allowing you to operate in much closer proximity to enemies than you otherwise would, by quickly neutralising targets with a few well-placed shots. And even if your target isn't outright destroyed by the blast, the shotgun's ammo has excellent stunning capabilities, sending basic enemies flying, and most pertinently, stun-locking Romanovs provided they're continuously attacked, which allows you to employ a reactive playstyle, where a quick burst from your shotgun will keep the heat off of you for a short time, and give you a chance to decide on your next move. The shotgun is like a mixture of our good friends the low-frequency energy gun and the anti-armor pistol. With disruption on demand and incredible damage, it's a weapon you should always keep on hand. Number 1. The assault rifle. In my personal opinion, the greatest configuration for the blade in Vanquish comes down to, as it does with many things, Occam's razor. The idea that the simplest solution to your problem is always the most effective, and what could be simpler than the weapon you begin the game holding, the assault rifle. There's nothing flashy about this one, no nuance in how it's used, it just happens to be the most consistent weapon in your arsenal. Its blisteringly high fire rate combined with excellent accuracy makes hitting targets a breeze, and while its damage is comparatively low to most other weapons, ensuring you aim for critical hits quickly alleviates this problem, granting it ample stopping power for dealing with any threat in the game. This, combined with plenty of ammo in your magazine, means that it's difficult to be caught off guard with an assault rifle in your hands. If you notice a distant threat, you can spray them down thanks to its high accuracy. If they're at medium range, you can line up a volley of headshots to take them out, and if you're at close range, the high fire rate and critical damage means that even if you're scuffling with an enemy you didn't see coming, it shouldn't be too difficult to land enough shots to take them down. It's reliable, adaptable, and easily sees you through the experience from start to finish. And that's my list. I know that during my time with Vanquish, I barely ever carried a loadout which didn't contain both an assault rifle and a shotgun. If there's a different weapon you feel is simply indispensable, feel free to let me know by leaving a comment. I'd love to hear about it. This has been Rain Reaver. Thanks for watching.